What's up, everybody? Now, I know that lately I've been talking mainly about the election in Texas, but while we've been talking about Ernie Gonzalez and his addiction to eyeliner and moaning when he wipes, another battle has been brewing. A land far, far away has been getting up to some really messed up stuff. Of course, we're talking about California. Now, if you don't know, California, also known as California by the rest of America, due to its communism, is pretty much a liberal's wet dream. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you want no gun rights, well, that's the place you go. If you want to have your freedom of speech constantly censored, it's where you go. If you want homeless people and drugs and gay pride flags everywhere, that's where you go. Now, that's not to say that everybody there is bad. There are Republicans in California. I know, absolutely insane. Nani? Now, one of those Republicans, Bill Essayli, said that he is going to reintroduce a bill to force Democrats to actually go on the record for what they believe in. And now we know. Now, the bill that he was trying to introduce again would repeal provisions of a state law that would prohibit local authorities from participating in federal immigration enforcement of any kind. This is that whole sanctuary city thing that we're, always hearing about, because it's working out so great, right?
Over the coming weeks, adding resources for residents are on hand, and the city has available housing for those who are home insecure.
Now, the current law, which is known as SB 54, also known as the California Values Act, is a sanctuary state law. This is the law that prevents local law enforcement from actually working with immigration authority and federal agents on dealing with immigration crime. Essayli, however, is trying to introduce some provisions to that would amend it or repeal, existing portions of the law. And the existing portions is, he believes that if a illegal immigrant who is in this country illegally commits a sex crime against a child, that person should be deported. So what do you think happened to Mr. Essayli when he was reading his bill to end sanctuary state laws in this regard? Well, let's take a look, shall we?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to suspend the rules and invoke the California Constitution to withdraw Assembly Bill 2641, which will end sanctuary state protections for convicted illegal immigrant pedophiles.
Stop. You went beyond making a motion. You started to go into debate. You can make the motion, but you cannot talk about the motion will be non-debatable. So you made your motion. You made a motion, correct?
My motion is to withdraw AB 2641 from the Public Safety Committee and have the bill taken up immediately without referendum.
Thank you. That requires a second? Seconded by Assemblymember Dixon. Okay. So members, Mr. Essayli is requesting to bypass the joint rules and the committee deadlines. This is a suspension of the joint rules and takes 54 votes. It is not debatable. The clerk will open the rolls. Assemblymember Essayli asking for an aye vote. The majority leader asking for a no vote. All those who desire to vote. It's a procedural motion. Mr. Essayli asking for an aye vote. Majority Leader asking for a no vote. Clerk will close the roll. Ayes 14, noes 36. The rules are not suspended. Motion fails.
Yeah, they cut his fucking mic off. They argued with him and then cut his fucking mic off. First off, Mr. Essayli, bravo, because I'm going to tell you this just straightforward. If your intent was to get Dems to go on the record and say, hey, no, we support this all the way, you did that anyway because by the way, they voted his bill down. They voted his bill down, and they also tried to silence him, which, mind you, should be absolutely illegal. Free speech doesn't even exist in California for freaking government workers that are in opposition. Government representatives of the people are not allowed to speak as well, apparently, because they're just going to cut your mic off.
I'm really happy for you. I'm going to let you finish.
So what can we conclude from this entire thing happening? considering that the bill was voted down, considering that they tried to silence him, all for just trying to introduce a bill that would rescind, take away portions of the sanctuary city law that would allow local authorities to deal with crime, as well as specifically sex crime against children. I think we can just say that the left now supports this, that their ideology has become such a personality trait that they have forgotten everything that it means to not only be an American, but to be human. Because human compassion dictates that a pedophile should be removed from society immediately.
And I get the Tinder rabbit.
Whether that be through jailing or my preferred method, which is a 9mm to the head. But apparently the Democrats think that, no, they should not be even deported. They should be kept in the country. Immigration is a huge concern. The fact that the cities all over the West Coast, also in Texas, are facing what could only be described as an invasion at this point, with zero scrutiny whatsoever of people pretty much being let in, and in a lot of cases given money at the taxpayers', expense. Well, now Democrats are saying that not only do you have to let them in, not only do we have to allow them all this extra protections, not only do we have to feed them, house them, clothe them, fund everything about them, we also have to let them get away with sex crimes without being kicked the fuck out of the country. So unless there was some secondary provision that said, no, we're not going to kick them out, we're just going to kill them right here, I think we now know where the left stands. And here's your friendly reminder, everybody. Pedophiles aren't people, and they shouldn't be treated like them. I'm going to go watch Old Yeller, except I'm just going to imagine that that's every single sex criminal. It's going to be fucking great. Right in the back of the head. Fuck them. Fuck them with the barrel.
He's 6'5", he'll blow your mind. Style divine, he's tactical as fuck. He's autistic, not simplistic, hates the left. No soy boy dick. Likes his guns, man, so what?